Hello. I had it on. Is that? There we go. Beautiful ladies, we are at the Icon, downtown Sioux Falls, and we are having a royal tea. Hello ladies, beautiful hats. We're having a great time, and I hope if you're watching on this live feed that you catch us here next year and you're joining us. There you go, I'll let you turn it around. There you go. I'm going to try to move a little bit closer here so I can see everybody. Well, thanks for coming out this morning. I cannot tell you how beautiful you all are. You look amazing. And you probably gave up a little bit of sleep on a Saturday morning to come here too, so I appreciate that. Today we're talking about iconic women. And the pictures of the iconic women that you saw on the flyers today, I thought about what made them iconic. Jackie Kennedy, a woman of poise, grace, and strength. Oprah Winfrey, I know her pictures on the cake over there at the silent auction. Tenacity, the ability to break through a glass ceiling, and a major woman of influence. Anne Frank, a meek child with wisdom beyond her years, and endless hope as well. Now you may look at these women and think, now how could I ever be a life changer? How could I ever be a game changer like they were? But it can happen for you, and it starts with one person at a time. And today we're going to talk about one child at a time. You know, listening to children can be so entertaining, and thankfully that's a part of my job. When I'm on KSOO in the weekdays with Chad McKenzie at about 7:20 every morning, we do a segment called Kids Jokes, and that is one of our most listened to times. I hear from people that work in law enforcement that always listen to kids' jokes. They pick their corniest joke that they heard from one of the kids, and then they go in and tell everybody at work. And then they enjoy watching their coworkers groan. So I thought I'd share a few with you. We often get calls from the kids, and they make up their own names. Awesome Angela, she's the daughter of a city council candidate. Goofy Gus calls up, Kit Kat Kaylee, and Boom Boom Brendan. So what do you call a hippopotamus with a bunch of stuff all over it? That would be a hippopotamus. Why do rhinos have so many wrinkles? Because they're too hard to iron. Why are babies so good at basketball? Any ideas? Because they like to dribble. And listening starts way before the babies start to talk. I love babies. I always have. As a kid, I was one of those right after the church service to go find the babies and hold them. My mom can tell you about that too. I remember one time when I was a kid, I woke up and I heard a baby. There's a baby in the house. I was the youngest of two, so there were no babies after me. So I jumped out of bed. There's a baby in the house and I get to hold a baby. So I ran out to the living room. I don't know, Mom, if you remember this or not. Mom was playing a sermon that was recorded at a church previously. And there happened to be a baby in the recording. So no babies in the house. I have a friend in Canada that calls me the baby whisperer. And a lot of it comes, if you're a mom or you've cared for babies, listening to those silent cues, those subtle things, and doing what you can to comfort that baby and enjoy spending time with the baby. When a baby cries in a store, I try to hold that baby. Somehow I think I can do better than their own mother. I don't know. So, but of course there's that barrier of making sure they don't think I'm a crazy woman trying to hold their baby. So for me, holding a baby really is an act of selfishness in a way too, because it's a gift to myself. Being a type A person, my body and my mind is always going. But when I had kids, and when they were young, it gave me a license to slow down, to stop worrying about my to-do list, to just sit there and enjoy the moment. And to me, that's a gift to this day. And I tell my friends, if every world leader every day could hold a baby for about a half hour and watch them drift off to sleep peacefully, I think our world would be a lot more peaceful too. Part of listening to a baby is those subtle cues in life. And you know, after they start to talk, we still need to listen to those subtle cues of the kids. I've known the founders of the chapter of the Royal Family Kids Camp before it even started. I heard their dream in its infancy, a place where foster kids could be at a place where they can discover that they're loved, they're valued, there's hope, there's a future, and a place where someone was there to listen, not just to the words that they said, but to those subtle cues. The last 14 months, I've learned a huge life-changing lesson. And I realized in talking with some of the founders at Royal Family Kids Camps that it's part of the message that the kids who go to camp, they get to understand too. 14 months ago, I looked a lot different than I do now. Some people don't even recognize me. It happened yesterday when we were setting up tables. I had to reintroduce myself to someone. 14 months ago, I made a list of the things that I wanted to give up in the short term to have a better future, better health. I want to be a grandma someday to take care of my grandkids instead of my kids having to care for me and for their own kids. I want to go on a roller coaster ride and go on the Ferris wheel with my kids. I want to meet friends at a restaurant and not wonder if I'm going to fit into the booth. I want to get into a car with a friend and not wonder if the seatbelt's going to fit. I chose to put off the instant comfort and gratification and the pleasure. And 14 months later, I'm 159 pounds down. $15 to go. We'll get there. It'll be the first time since third grade that will not be on my shoulders. This is what I learned. Making big changes in life comes in very small steps. Success is making the right choice over and over and over every single day. It's doing things different than what everybody else around you is doing. And if you mess up, you start by making that right choice again. And you do it over and over and over again. When it comes to the kids at Royal Family, they often are not even thinking about their future or the long term. They're in survival mode. They're caring for younger siblings. They're thinking about when they're going to get their next meal, what they're going to wear so they can fit in with their friends, how they can stay away from an abusive hand, how they can appease a hurtful tongue, how they can avoid the hurt that when you and I hear these stories in the news, we shudder. That's their life. They're not thinking about the future. Royal Family Kids Camps brings this message to the kids. You matter. There is hope. You can have a future, and it can be a great future. You are worth it. The kids receive the same message that I just learned. Making big changes in life comes in very small steps. Success is making the right choice over and over and over every day. And as you grow, you may have to do things differently than those around you and avoid perhaps the comfort of a relationship that's not right. Avoiding drugs, alcohol, and so many other temptations. That can be a really strong temptation if you're hurting. And if you mess up, you turn it around and you make the right choice again. And you make that right choice over and over. I love the stories that I've heard from the kids that have gone to camp. And they won't maybe come out and tell you with their words, but you can see it in their actions. They're getting better grades. They're talking about going to college. They have improved behavior. They have a better outlook in life. They're talking about their future. So here's where we come into this message. What's your part? What is your part? I volunteered a little. It's embarrassing, really, how little I've helped. I did lice checks one time, and I helped with all the counselors who came back, and I gave them foot rubs. I've got to do more. One of my callings for sure is to be there for foster families, to hold their babies so they can get a break, watch their children while they run errands, and simply to catch their breath. And I've been able to do that a few times. We've been talking about listening to kids. When you volunteer and support Royal Family Kids Camp, the kids may not tell you with their mouths, but their actions will tell you if you listen. I am cared for. I have a hope. I have a future. I have value, and I am worth it. So who deems when a woman is iconic? Is it society? Is it popular culture when you finally get your own reality show? Or is it God? I think about the Bible verse, let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. I think of the request of our lives from Scripture to take care of the fatherless and the widow. We complicate so much of our Bible, but really it comes down to one thing, loving each other. I wish a few people in Pure would be reminded of loving each other right now, regardless where you stand politically. An iconic woman may not be the most popular, the one who is written about in the history books. An iconic woman is you. When you choose to show love to another person that you may not even know or understand, the Bible calls the least of these. Ask yourself, what is my part in caring for the children of Royal Family Kids Camp? Thank you for coming today.